Let us pray. Lord, help our hearts to be good soil, open to the seed of your word of new life today. Amen. Seven parables of Jesus are recorded just within Matthew 13. Together, these parables set forth the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Jesus speaks parables to illumine what God is like, what God desires, and what God desires of us. Today we focus on the first one. It comes as a surprise in Jesus' day and in ours that God's kingdom gets compared to such a mundane activity as that of a farmer. Jesus proclaims that God comes not as a warrior, but as a farmer. God comes not with a sword, but with a seed. God comes not to lead a group of angry people, but to cultivate a field of rich, responsive soil. God comes not to destroy the land, but to plant and eventually harvest an abundant crop from the land. A first hearing of this parable of the sower may lead us to conclude, what a foolish farmer. This person's farming practices leave much to be desired. How can a farmer be so careless and so wasteful? But what may seem to be random and haphazard is in fact intentional and necessary. No seeds, no harvest. In his classic work titled The Parables of Jesus, Joachim Jeremias observed that what appears to be bad farming is simply a customary method in Palestinian conditions during the time of Jesus' earthly ministry. In Palestine, sowing preceded plowing. Part of the reason for that is the fact that the soil is so rocky and rough. Much of the soil is unplowable. The sower harbors the hope that seeds intentionally allowed to fall on poor soil may indeed bring forth fruit in due season. Furthermore, in the midst of the uncertainties of sowing, the farmer is certain of only one thing: fruit will only be produced if seeds are broadcasted generously. No farmer expects every single seed to bring forth fruit. Although if you think about it, even the seed gobbled up by the birds and pooped back to earth has a better chance of sprouting than one might think. Yes, some of the seeds will be choked among thorns, other seeds will blow away into oblivion, but the farmer never stops sowing, nor does one lose hope for the harvest. Let's face it. Impatience is one of the afflictions of modern living, and let's just face it, much of the cause of our inability to thwart this coronavirus. With so much emphasis on instant everything, we are programmed to look for quick and easy results. Maybe if we were to hang out with a farmer, we might learn a thing or two about how God's kingdom advances in God's own time. In this parable, the seed may take a long time to germinate in the human heart. yes, even in our human heart, we are called to be patient. Has not God the sower pledged that his word will accomplish its purposes? Listen to Isaiah. For as the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return there until they have watered the earth, making it bring forth and sprout, giving seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty. Dear congregation, I believe this parable speaks a special word to every single one of us enjoined to Jesus, who sows the message of the kingdom of love with our words and our lives. To our human eyes, much of the labor seems futile and fruitless. A lot of wasted seed and effort, often resulting in apparent failure. But Jesus is filled with confidence in holy carelessness. He knows that despite the lack of ready response and immediate results, the harvest will surely come, and it will be ultimately a bumper crop. We are to rejoice today in the character of a God who broadcasts his word and grace with such careless confidence. For without this confidence and faithfulness, there would be no prophets, no Christ, no scriptures, no church, and certainly no mercy for the undeserving and no generosity for the tight-fitted.